Hey team, welcome to the Step Outside YouTube channel. If you want to see more fishing action just like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.
G'day team, hope you're keeping safe and well. One thing you may have noticed around the country at the moment that's moving out of creeks, rivers, bays, estuaries and onto the beaches are these beautiful big sea mullet. And of course with these we see other predatory fish targeting them. Big tailor, 3 to 5 kilograms, big beautiful fish. And of course with that also mulloway, one of the tastiest fish that we have around Australia, particularly when they're large. 30, 40 kilogram mulloway will outdo a lot of other fish. The smaller ones can be a little bit strong, but geez, those big ones are great. But I want to show you how to rig up some baits, how to properly get a hook into a fish, and then we're going to hit the waterways and put it to use. So here we go. The gear I'm running here is quite simple. This is a PE 3 to 6. It's a Shimano dual rod. It's a great outfit. It's 8 foot, 802 TW top water. So it's great for popping for wahoo, mackerel, GTs and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to use it for bottom fishing today. The reel I'm using is a long cast bait runner, Shimano. And of course with that, I've got some Kairiki braid, about 40 pound on there. So I don't need to show you anything further down from that apart from just I've got a bit of leader going on. I've got 50 pound fluorocarbon going down to a swivel. So pretty simple thing. The sinker weight, okay, the sinker weight depends on the current and the depth of which you're fishing. And of course the size of the live bait. If it's a small slimy mackerel or a yakka or a sardine or anything like that, clearly you might only need a size 4 ball sinker such as that. Or of course if you want to go to something a bit bigger and the current's raging or you're a bit deeper water, you might go to a size 8 or 10. So that particular size sinker would be ideal in that situation. But for me, a size 4 is going to do the job for today. If you're in an area where you do not have a lot of tackle with you, most people soft plastic these days, a jig head is ideal. And this jig head here has got the lead on the front, it's got about a 4 or 5 on the back end, so clearly that TT is going to do justice. It'll do the same job, in a way. I'm going to run some 80 pound fluorocarbon leader, so it's about 5 feet. Snip that off, braid scissors, super sharp, super good. My favourite knot that I like to use, of course, is the uni knot, single uni knot. Bring the leader around that loop, tag over the loop, through the loop, about 5 times, pull it tight, pull it down, wet it up, pull the main leader. It's locked and loaded now. Look at that, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. From here, I'm going to use a glow bead. A glow bead in depth is great. It'll illuminate the bait and get the fish attracted to it even more than it kicking around as well. So on goes a glow bead. The glow bead is now on. From here, I'm going to get some hooks. These KLT 6.0s, these are perfect. In goes the leader through the eye of the hook, like so. Want about, what's that, maybe 10 inches. Whack it around and hold your index finger and thumb onto that loop there. Now take the leader or the tag end and wrap it around the shank, wrapping it around the shank and of course the main line. That's now running down towards your index finger and thumb again, like so. Keeping those twists nice and uniformed. Grab those twists so they don't undo. That little leader loop there goes back through with a tag. Pull it tight, wet it. And look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. There's your snell done. Still got our tag end. On goes the other hook. 4 or 5 times. Like so, wet it up, pull it down. You can use pliers. I know I'm probably going to get yelled at for using my teeth. Done. Cut it off nice and tight because they will not slip. There you have it. So I've got a double hook rig here. I've got a snell on top. I've got the single hook down the bottom. All I'm going to do here is put that through the underjaw of the fish. This is super important. Okay, the last hook always goes into the tail because the head has got to go to the top hook, so the head is always coming towards you. If you pull it in backwards, the gills will flare. These hooks I wouldn't use on that particular fish because that's a big fish. Slimy mackerel, pike, yakkers, sardines, perfect. Let's go and hit the water and give it a crack.
Welcome to Step Outside. With the rods hooked up and the ski in the water, it's now for our 60k journey across the bay to the fishing grounds. And here, the first thing we have to do is locate the live bait.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just letting my line down off the reel. I'm going to get it to the bottom because when we target these silver Jew I want to get the line to the bottom and then just wind it up a couple of turns and just have the sinker sitting realistically probably 3 or 4 feet above the highest pinnacle on the reef that you're fishing. So if you're fishing an area that is say 100 feet deep and the pinnacle is at 90 feet, you want to keep your line at say 85 feet. That's going to be 5 feet above the pinnacle. Therefore, you're not going to get snagged. And anything that's circling around that region is going to come up and bite your bait straight away. Big fish! So we've put everything into place, the live bait's down, and it doesn't take long when you're fishing around a supermarket for the ocean, and that is a bait ball. So we're just going to take our time, and I've got nowhere to be. Well, the show finishes soon, so not the season, but just today's episode, so I've got to make sure I've had him up before we close. But this gear, this is the PE 3-6 Jewel, a beautiful outfit. And I've got the 14,000 size reel here. It's a bait runner. He picked up that bait, the second gear was engaged, and then I just turned the handle and instantly we're hooked up. Pretty simple stuff, really. Oh, gotcha now. Now, if you saw the tip on how to gaff a fish, clearly I did it, but I didn't take note of it. But anyway, we got him into the mouth. There we go. Have a look at that for a crack of a Jewy, everyone. It just goes to show that my 2-hook rig is really important in this situation. One, I've got the first hook penetrated his lip, the second hook's gone down to his gullet. Now that's a lovely Jewy, or a silver Jew, what we call up here. In far northern territory in WA and Queensland, they call it a black Jew. Well, they're a bit darker. But here, this is a prime eating fish, I'll tell you what. And again, if you're using a live bait, use it in the area where you caught it. Whether you're beach fishing for whiting, dart, maybe bream in the estuaries, use a river prawn, and out at sea, use the bait below you, being a yakka or a slimy mackerel or something else in your vicinity. What a magnificent fish, and I'm taking him home. The moon phase, in case you're wondering, we're entering the new moon. We're about 2 days away from a new moon. We've got a high tide around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is pretty much now. So it's a perfect time to be out here targeting these fish. These are a schooling fish too, by the way. And of course, where there's one, there's going to be more.
Now with that moon phase and the tide slowing down, the sounder lit up like a Christmas tree, the bait was boiling, the Jewies in great numbers. Shane opted for a different rig, in fact an overhead, like a Torium 30HG, with a 20 to 40 pound Therese overhead rod. His rig, little different, more like a paternoster, sinker to the bottom, coming up to a 3-way swivel, and then a 6-foot leader going to the 2-hook rig. Bang, straight on. Days like this do happen when the moon phase and the tides all push together. When you have that afternoon tidal change, that's when the fish will be schooling in fantastic numbers. What a day. Now here's some tips for catching mulloway. A 10 to 15 kilo overhead or bait runner combo is ideal. 2 metres of 60 pound fluorocarbon leader. The sinker weight, well, it should suit the depth and the current in the area. 2 6.0 Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks ideal. Locate a pinnacle or a wreck on the bottom. Jig the bait from the schooling fish below, then hook him up to that 2-hook rig. Drift the area and remember to free spool it before striking. Have fun! Hey team, thanks for watching the Step Outside YouTube channel. If you want to see more fishing action like this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep up to date with what's happening in your neck of the woods and our neck of the woods. It's going to be great viewing, great watching. It's all coming up on the Step Outside YouTube channel. Take it easy.